way down there. You can't even see it. Way down there. You see, way down there. So that right there is the pulley. I know you can't see it, I'm sorry. For the AC compressor. We're going to, you don't have to bleed the system because his fluid already leaked out, so that's a plus. Normally you would have to save the Freon with a machine and take it somewhere to get it discharged. It's very hazardous. Don't breathe it in, it's not good for the environment. We like to stay green. We're moving right along. I'm going to show you some stuff I found underneath. First, I'm going to show you how I did this. I took the bottom panel off here, and I did that because I wanted to get to the access of this where the radiator is. I wanted to drain the radiator and save all this expensive fluid for the guy, because I'm taking out the coolant reservoir to get this part out. I'm going to show you a different way how to do this instead of taking the front bumper. The fan here is not connected correctly, so you see these clips, this little clip right here. This is supposed to be in this bracket, this in the bracket. Same with this one. You see the little clip right here, the little tooth that comes out, you can kind of see it. And then you see the bracket right here. That slides into the bracket before it gets put onto the car on the top. So what's happening is he's not getting the correct amount of coolant, for a cool air from the car. This is supposed to be pinched shut, hence why it has this molding around it. But he's losing all this air straight down under the car instead of getting on the motor. And these BMWs really ride hot. I also noticed this is not connected. So there's a hole here and a little bolt hole right there. So the bolt, this should be bolted in and not floppy like this. So I'm gonna show him this little part of the video and see if he wants these things fixed. I mean, he's a mechanic. I took this out. This is 210s. Here and here. I disconnected this little line right here and I put it aside. And then when I pulled this out, I just set it here, you know, and I had to disconnect this other line. I pushed it over here. So this line with a clip on it, you pull the clip up and then you wiggle this off. These are a pain in the butt, which is good because it means that the the O-ring is working in the car. So now that we can see down here where our compressor lines go in to the compressor, so one is a feed in and one is a feed out, I'm gonna take these two lines off with the Allen keys, and then there's three 13-inch bolts that hold the compressor on right there, and we're gonna start working on the compressor. So when I get the compressor off, I'm going to show you where the bolts are on the compressor, and I'm going to show you what it looks like to put it back in. And we'll fast forward. Alright, flash forward. Let me show you where I got. So I had to take the coolant reservoir out. Remember this? The coolant reservoir. So we had to drain the coolant, had to take the coolant reservoir out so we could get to the back two bolts. We had to take this line off here. This line I hung up here. This line. There was two bolts here, and then there's one down here. And I'm gonna have to show you from underneath because I could not get it for the life of me. You have to take this radiator fan out. It was installed wrong anyway, so I'm gonna put it back in the correct way now for this guy. I took pictures of it before I took it out so you could see that it was installed wrong. The compressor was right here, so I had to take this out. So we had to take a couple of hoses off. You know, these coolant hoses. This one's damaged because there's a piece that goes on the, I'll show you. Now watch this hose. See this piece down in there? You can't see it. Let me get the flashlight. So you see the piece? See the little dipstick hanging out the side right there? The little thingy? They put the hose on too tight and then clamped it down, and it broke the hose right there where it's sticking out. So when you do that kind of stuff and you're trying to hurry up and you don't do the job correctly, then that makes stuff like this. That's broken around that hose. I mean, this one looks like it's cut out, like, to get around there, but I don't know why. If he wants to change this hose, we can change it later. It wasn't leaking. So, let's look underneath. Let's see. I had to catch all this coolant, but the coolant's contaminated now. It's got little, see all the black stuff in it? I don't know if there was head gasket fix in his coolant, or that's just all the dirt that came off when it flushed through the motor. So I had to take this piece off here, this hose right there, and to take a couple other pieces off. I had to take these two 10s right here and right here out of the front. So, like, you know, here's the front, you come right underneath, and underneath it here and here, so that this would move. This piece is in the middle with all this contraptions, so you cannot get this out with this being here. This blocks the last bolt. You have to unloosen the whole, almost take the whole coolant system out to get that out of here, right here. You know, it sits right up there. It was ridiculous to get that AC compressor out. If I had a BMW, I would just not have any AC, you know what I mean? So, I don't know. So let's look at the old one. So this is the old AC compressor, and it was in there like, let me see so I can show you. It was in there like this. It was actually sitting like that. So the two lines go in. Remember, we took those two lines off, and then there was a bolt right here. It's a E12, and then there was a bolt right here that was easier to get to. But then this bolt on the bottom is where all that combobulator with all the coolant, like a diverter, it has all those different coolant lines that go into it. That was covering this hole. There's no way that you can get to this on the X drive because there's too many components in the front. So I finally got this out, this out, this out, these two hoses, and there was one clip here. So this clip is a little weird, you know. You just pull this tab up right here, see this tab, and disconnect. And then on the new one, we have the tab right here, the new tab. This has a plug in it, which is nice, and it came with the new bolt and a plug. So this probably has oil in it already from the factory. And then the bolts will go right back in the same place. This is the one in the back, the one in the front, and the one down here. And then we're gonna put the new Serpentine belt on, because, let me show you. So this is the belt that he had on. This belt was so hard to get off. They must have measured this to get this belt on so you don't have to use the AC. So it just routes around the crank and the power steering and the alternator. But this belt, see the difference? This belt adds the compressor and goes all the way down here to the compressor and routes differently. This belt looks a little too big, so I'm gonna have to check and make sure that this is the actual belt for this car. You see how the size, and I don't think the compressor is that big. Unless we're missing an idle pulley. If there's supposed to be a pulley on here that I don't see, because I'm so used to working on these, the 30s, and that over there, the E46 I'm building, the 06 E46, and this E46. Totally different. Totally different. So we have to figure out the belt routing, and if there was supposed to be another idle pulley somewhere. So this pulley will go over here. Then you have your crank pulley, tensioner. This is an idle pulley, or this is the alternator pulley, sorry, alternator pulley. And this is the, oh, here's the idle pulley. And then this is the power steering down here. Power steering usually has 3 nuts on it like this, so you can kind of always see it. And then this was a T50. You have to put a T50 in here and turn this to loosen it to make this go down. So I had to push it clockwise, you know, this way, to make this open to get the belt off. And that's where we're at right now. And basically everything else is just plug and play, put back together. So make sure you put the alternator in first, or the AC compressor in first, get these 3 bolts in nice and snug, and then put your lines in and nice and snug. Check your O-rings on here. Make sure you have good O-rings on here. You don't want to put this all back together and the O-rings are shot or popped off or something. So you got to check, you know? Let's check. Is the O-ring on there? Yeah, O-ring's on there. Okay. Yeah, I see it. Okay. So these look pretty good. Normally you buy a pack of these and they're green and you can put them on, but these look really nice. I wouldn't spend the extra money, you know. These look pretty good. And his system did have pressure in it, you know. I mean, there was no Freon, but it squirted out a little air, barely anything. Psst, that was like, you know. So I tested it right here. You take this Schrader valve cap off, and then right there. So you have to put a cable on here and release this into a canister and then take it to get done, but he didn't have any Freon, so we're good. He doesn't want me to fill it. He's gonna fill it himself because that's, you know, an extra charge to fill the Freon, but he's a mechanic. But this AC job is very intense. My buddy was gonna do this job and he's only been a mechanic for like 8 months. I'm so glad he didn't do this job. This took me 3 hours just to get this thing out. Now I have to put everything back in. So this is the E90. This is the E90. I'm learning all these beams. So many numbers. This is the E90 AC compressor. Remove and install on the 08 328xi BMW. Alright guys, if you've done this job before, leave me a comment down below, give me a like, subscribe. I'm doing all kinds of stuff all the time. I don't know if I'm gonna work on this car again. Maybe the brakes, the guy wants brakes done. I'm gonna put this in the folder with just random BMW stuff, so you're gonna see all kind of different BMWs in there. And this guy did his own wrap job. It's pretty nice, so we're gonna start wrapping cars too. I think me and him are gonna start wrapping cars. I got another buddy who wants to wrap. He's just beginning, so maybe the 3 of us can make some money out of it. But share the video, subscribe, like, notifications all, and keep watching our disturbing creations. We love you all. God bless. So we fast forward one last time. I just wanted to show you guys that the new compressor is in and the lines are connected. See it? The nice silver shiny thing. Everything is back together. We still have to put this coolant piece here in, and this piece. And I just wanted to make sure that you guys remember to do this one thing. You do this job. Whenever you put this fan in, remember I complained about it earlier? These have to be in this clip. In this one. And there's 2 clips on the top. See if I can show you. See? See that little thing right there in the middle? That's like, it's got like 3 holes in it. They almost look like they're blue. That thing is another slider. The top piece has to slide in that or it'll never fit. So when you bring this down, you have to bring it down, pull it up, and slide it back in. See if I can show you this one. If not, then we're just gonna be done with this video. Oh. That's about as big as it gets. Let's see the open area right there. In between, there's a slider up there. And it slides. So that's it. Everything's done. Air compressor's in. See it? All shiny and nice. Brand new pulley. Looking great. It took me about 4.5 hours. Crazy, right? So give me a shout out, a like, comment down below, subscribe so you can see more of how to all the Beamer stuff and everything else. All right, God bless. Bye.